Hello, Storygoers, and welcome back to another episode of Tales from the Cartridge, the video game storytelling podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Eric Penrod.
And I'm your other co-host, Ryan Bauer.
Ryan, I read this morning that hyper-independence is a sign of trauma. And that kind of sucks because I've always kind of associated myself with hyper-independence. Unknowingly. Yeah. So that blows.
Yeah, I can fully relate, as I am a human who, as quickly as I could, got all of my own, phone bill and all of, everything like that because I wanted to be as independent as possible. Yeah.
I needed money and someone offered it. No, thank you. Though it would leave me a lot of stress, I cannot take that. I must fend for my own. Yes. So hopefully no one else listening is a hyper-independent person. And if you are, that's okay. But maybe go talk to someone.
Reflecting,
Reflect, yeah. Well, how did we get to this point?
Yeah.
Ryan, how are you? And what have you been playing?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been a good... things are getting really busy in work and in life, but I'm doing good. I've been playing a bunch of Elden Ring and a little bit of Destiny as the new episode just started. And there was some raid shenanigans going on. But mostly Elden Ring, playing my way through that. Making some decent progress.
It's so strange to hear you say that you're playing Elden Ring. Not weird, not you being weird, but it's just, Souls-like games are just not our jam. And then I played Lies of P and you played Elden Ring. So it's it's wild.
With Elden Ring, I have the benefit of magic and cheesing, which I think, I am playing a type of playstyle in which I do not have to learn everyone's moves. I can just stand far away and use magic, and I can summon my little friend and heal tank, and we get through everything, and it's great.
You have a little friend?
Yeah, so in Elden Ring you get summons that you can use of different degrees that you can collect like Pokemon. And one of the summons you get pretty late in the game is Mimic, and it just makes another you who has all your abilities, spells, and weapons. And so there's just two of me running around, and so that's fun to do. And you can get all kinds of fun summons. But yeah, that's the one that is pretty good, and I've been using quite a bit. So I think the game says I'm 50% of the way through, but it only progresses when you kill bosses. So I'm just, for anyone who's played, I've just made my way from the capital to the Giant's Mountain or whatever the heck. One thing I will say from a narrative perspective, Eric, still nonsense. And also, there's a bunch of characters in the game who you do who you run into and you do quests with and do side quests. All of them are bummers. Every single quest is a bummer. If you meet someone, they're going to die or it's going to be bad. No one has a happy ending. It's all bummers. Which is...
It does sound like Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Which is a choice. But, it's just kind of how it goes. But still nonsense. I still don't actually understand anything that's going on other than, I'm killing these guys so I can be the strongest guy in all the land.
You're just trying to be the strongest guy.
Just trying to be the strongest guy. So I got to kill all these other guys who think they're the strongest guy, but I got to show them they're not. I'm the strongest guy.
Oh, you're the new strongest guy in town.
Yeah. And my current quest is I've proved I'm the strongest guy, but I can't get to the place where I can prove I'm the strongest guy. So instead I have to burn the world down so that I can get to the place I'm the strongest guy.
Man, if that's not toxic masculinity, I don't know what is.
There's no choice. That's the only option.
That's what they all say.
Yeah.
That's what they all say. Yep.
Yeah. So that's my Elden Ring update. It's a very fun game. It would be better if the multiplayer wasn't bad, and it'd be better if all the stories weren't bummers. But it's fun. It's fun to play. There's a good tension of do I risk it all to fight this guy, or do I go hide somewhere and not? That's fun. It's a good time, but it's yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow. We are in a weird timeline. I thought we'd have this conversation. This is so interesting.
Very interesting. But Eric, how are you? What have you been playing?
I'm good. I've been playing. Well, I've been playing stuff, but before I jump into that, I want to talk about how this weekend. So it's the weekend of the 21st.
Yep.
20th, whatever. So Evo has been going on. For anyone who doesn't know, it's the biggest fighting game tournament weekend of the year. And so it's been on the last 2 days, and today as well. It'll be on an hour and a half. And I've just been watching it like crazy. So, I mean, it's impossible to watch all of it at once because there's so many games and so many stages. I've been predominantly watching Street Fighter Third Strike, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, which is a game I just love. I'm not good at it by any means, but man, it's so cool. It's such a good fighting game. It's so ridiculously broken in so many ways, but it's just so much fun and has so much style. Which has got me back into Street Fighter 6. And so I have learned too, for those who are into fighting games who are not great at them because you want to get good with the joystick button layout, like not a controller, but with a joystick. I almost said Joy-Con. There are leverless controllers now where it's just like a arcade cabinet joystick layout, but there's no joystick. It's all just buttons. And so it's much better for your wrist, and it just seems like way more my speed. So I will be getting one of those to continue to play Street Fighter 6. Hopefully that makes sense. And then I've also been playing Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, the remake for Switch. Yeah. I started that just because Echoes of Wisdom will be out, I think, in September.
That sounds right.
I think in September. Yeah, I think so. Sometime soon. So I'll make sure I beat that first before I get into that. Man, it's such a cute little game. It's so great. I love that game. It's so good. I love that it has a reason and some kind of like emotional depth to. Spoiler alert for the game. If you haven't played this game from like the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. Windfall Island is not real. It's all in the dreams of the Windfall whale guy, which then has emotional impacts to the characters on the island that you meet. But I love that it has a fantastic it kind of adds to this emotional depth that Link has with these characters who essentially are not actually alive but feel alive. And the ending that you get at the game, I think it's like the true ending you get at the game, compared to the bullcrap reasoning that Nintendo gave for Majora's Mask and Termina. I'm going to go on about this all the time. I think I've talked about this like multiple times. I just think it's bullcrap Nintendo. It's stupid. I want Nintendo to recall all of their their Zelda encyclopedias so they can have a sticker they put over it. It says that this reasoning is bullcrap and Termina is real and not a stupid imagination from Majora's Mask. It's so dumb. We'll talk about this when we cover Majora's Mask one day. We'll get back to this. I want Miyamoto on the podcast to explain.
Yeah, we deserve answers. Yeah,
we deserve answers. I love that they handled Windfall great. Even though I don't think it was meant to be. I think it was just like a kind of a throwaway thing, probably like for the story. But I like how they handled that way more than in Majora's Mask. But whatever. Even though I didn't really handle it in Majora's Mask. That's a whole other thing. I'll move on. Also playing Fortnite. Also playing Pokemon Unite. Fortnite has just not been fun. It's just not. It's really taken a dive. But I'm just every now and then I'll get on and play. But yeah, everything about it kind of blows. Sorry, I'm getting all negative now. I need to recall. I need to come back. Okay, I'm recalling. I've been playing Pokemon Unite, which is whatever. It's fine. We're good. We're all good. Everything's good. Back on the positivity train. It's like once I get on like a tangent, it's hard to like deviate. Like I just take on that emotion. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But Storygoers, we hope that you enjoyed our last episode, our DLC episode of a Summer Games Fest and Game of the Year narrative discussion part 2. There might be a campfire story between now and then. Not sure. We'll see what happens. And if there is, I hope you enjoyed that as well. But as always, you can email your thoughts, feelings, and perspectives to talesfromthecartridge@gmail.com. All of the E's are 3s. You can find us on our social media by leaving a voicemail or text at 207-494-4334 or by answering our Spotify poll questions down below if you're listening to us on Spotify, such as in our Pokemon Yellow Part 10 series. For the question is, what is your favorite water-type Pokemon? We had a listener that's been writing in with crazy responses, all caps lock seemingly always, from Huddy Tyus. Hopefully I said that right. This is all caps lock, and I live in an apartment building, so I cannot yell. So just pretend I'm screaming at the top of my lungs on a mountain, because that's what the energy I get from this. Their answer was Psyduck, Meowdos in second, Lapras in third, and Wailord in fourth, which is interesting choices. I like Lapras a lot. Lapras is always one of the great Pokemon I feel like from Gen 1, and Wailord is cute. So I have no idea who Miwados is, because I'm too old. Even though I play Pokemon still. And Psyduck's cool too. In our bedtime story, Super Mario 64 Part 3, we had Denzel write in with a suggestion as to what we should play next. And they said just Super Mario series next. So just keep doing the Super Mario series. I guess the question is, Ryan, can we do a better series than the Mario movie?
Yes.
You think so?
Yeah, no. Yeah. I don't know. I think
we could.
I think we could. I think we could pull something together.
Yeah.
To make it better. I haven't seen the Mario movie. I have no idea anything that happens in that Mario movie.
It was pretty good. I mean, it was okay.
Yeah, that's what I've
it
heard.
Wasn't bad. Yeah. I don't think it was bad. I think I'm that person that's like, Chris Pratt is just so not. I'm personally an over Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
But that's just me. I think that I didn't add anything to me. Honestly, the star character of that movie for me was Seth Rogen as DK. I actually love that. Seth Rogen's great.
Isn't he getting his own movie? Isn't he getting his own thing? Isn't they making a Donkey Kong movie, I think, or something, I thought?
They should. I haven't heard, but I would love that. That'd be great.
I could be making that up. That's possible.
Or you just manifested it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. Possible. I worry on the daily. Man, I'm going on this negativity train. I will turn this around. This is the last stop of the negativity train, and then I'm done. I'm gonna change into the next train, which is the positivity train.
Yeah.
Way too many train references. I do worry. Every morning I wake up, Ryan. Every morning I wake up. And I think to myself, is this the day that Tom Holland will be announced as Link for the Zelda movie? And I cringe. Ryan. I can't do it. It's Tom Holland or Chris Pratt, and I don't like either. And I don't want it. Why are they doing a live action movie, Ryan?
I don't know.
You know, I'm sitting down on this negativity train, and we're going full blast. No, stop it. Don't do a live action Zelda movie. No. It's dumb. Someone actually posted, maybe we can link it somewhere. If you go to, I sound like an old person. If you go to YouTube and type in The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Studio Ghibli, you will see this fan-made trailer of a Studio Ghibli-styled Zelda Ocarina of Time movie, and it is so beautiful. It's so perfect. It's great. And it's like, why can't we have this?
It's right there.
You can donate to our Patreon. Good transition, right? If you want to, you can donate to our Patreon. I haven't gotten any scripts up there in a while, but there will be more scripts eventually. We have exclusive episodes that we're trying to put out more often, as well as the warm, fuzzy feelings of supporting your favorite podcast so we can do more things and be more productive as life goes on. And of course, rate us on Apple and Spotify. I will say we have not gotten a new rating on Apple in probably half a year.
Wow. Come on, guys. Come on, folks.
Makes me feel sad.
Yeah.
And the one person on Spotify that gave us 4 stars. For the 27 of you that voted, the 2060 that voted 5 stars, thank you. And for the one who voted 4 stars, I appreciate you being honest with your opinions, but also, how dare you? You know what we do here? You know how hard we work? I wake up every morning terrified that Tom Holland will be cast as Link, all right? I hold a lot on these shoulders.
He does it so you guys don't have to.
Yeah. You should. Everyone should be outraged. No one should allow Tom Holland to be Link. I'm tired of it. Let Seth Rogen be Link. I would love that way more. I would actually enjoy that.
Yeah.
Ryan, what are we doing today?
Eric, today we're talking. No, I love that transition. Today we're talking about a video game story of Fallout. We're doing some Fallout. Woo! Fallout 1, Fallout OG, Fallout number 1. Yeah, we're going to get into it. This is going to be part 1 of however many parts it decides to be, and we're going to dive into it. We have some information on the game. We got some information on the series a little bit to kind of give you a little, window dressing to what's going on. Mm-hmm. And right now is the time to talk about Fallout. It's so hot right now.
This is it.
This is our moment.
We haven't missed our moment at all. The series came out in April. We knew that July would be the time.
July was the time.
Moment.
Yeah, absolutely. So, thank you, millions of people who are here to listen.
If only.
So yeah, we're gonna talk some Fallout, a game from 1997. Yeah, but it's like a pretty formative. I mean, you could very clearly draw a line from the original Fallout to Baldur's Gate 3, like really easily. I would say if you look at even a second of somebody playing Fallout 1, you can really clearly see the DNA there. Yeah. So it's still doing stuff, still doing good work. Eric, did you want to go through like just the developer and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah. Yes. I feel bad, Ryan, because as I'm doing very English names. I'm about to read very English words and very English names, and I feel like every time I make you read things, it's always very complicated. Not complicated, but just harder to pronounce Japanese names.
Yeah.
And that's not fair of me, so I'll try to be better about that. But yes.
Okay.
For Fallout 1, for background and influences, the developer of the game was Interplay Productions. It's weird enough to say Bethesda. Publisher also Interplay Productions. The producer being Tim Kaine, and the writer of the game being Mark O'Green. Wow, that was so easy.
Yeah, happy to help.
Now the producer, Shigeru Miyamoto.
Yeah, I had fully had the wrong everything here. Probably 5 minutes before we started recording. Because I didn't.
Can you imagine how cool that would be?
That would have been pretty cool.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, it can happen. There's a chance.
That'd be great.
Eric, do you have any sense or memory of anything with the original Fallout? Do you know anything about it? Do you know anything about Fallout?
I'm so sorry. It came out when I was 6, so I mean, I definitely didn't play it when it first came out. I never played the OG Fallout. I actually didn't realize for a long time that. I mean, I was, again, when you grow up being a dumb kid, we talked about this in Pikmin 1. I grew up a dumb kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really, not much has changed a lot. When my first time with Fallout was Fallout 3.
Yep.
And I just assumed that Fallout 2 and 1 were just the same way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I remember when Fallout 3 came out, it was huge.
Yeah,
that was the game. Like that was at the time unlike anything else. So I just assumed that it was like every other Fallout that I came before. I had no idea that it wasn't a first person shooter. And so having watched more gameplay recently and looking at it, I'm like, wow, this is like so radically, it's so similar. Obviously the vibe is so similar, but how different, and like very interesting that Bethesda took it the way it did, which I think was a good thing.
Absolutely.
I think the way that Fallout is now is, at least for me, more enjoyable than it was back for Fallout 1 and Fallout 2. But yeah, very, very different, and I'm curious how the storytelling will be in Fallout 1 compared to something like Fallout 3 or New Vegas or 4.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see. I think, I mean, going through it, it certainly feels old. Like, it feels like an older script. It feels like an older writing of a game where the writing was like, the purpose wasn't necessarily to tell a good story. It was to tell a story that justifies you playing the game. And those are two very different kind of, I think, ways they're going about it. So there's a lot of, I'm planning on, and already had to do a little bit of like moving some stuff around or changing some things to have things feel more natural or feel, and even then it still feels a little bit clunky just because the writing of the game. I'm the same boat as you. I had no idea that these games existed until years and years later when I was like looking up Fallout stuff when the internet was readily available and Fallout was a thing. So yeah, it's very strange. I mean, I have it kind of broken down here. And also, by the way, I guess we should have added this in the previous section. Tim Kaine, who you mentioned as the director, is that what I had? Producer. He's like the guy who like created this whole like world, this whole idea of Fallout. He produced this whole game. He worked with a bunch of people. He didn't do it by himself. But yeah, so he like headed up this whole like world. And you can see all kinds of interviews with him online, and like stuff like having the game be like 50s based was like a decision that was made like years into developing the game. And it was just kind of like, it was just like somebody was on their way home one day and said, oh, this would be cool, and they just like threw it into the game. It was not something that was planned from the start. It was just going to be kind of like a Mad Max style apocalypse game, and then they like kept throwing these ideas in there that all eventually became this like very established like lore and feel of Fallout, which is really interesting. But yeah, so there's 4 games in the Fallout series that were like very RPG, very like original. And I mean, the reason it looks like the original Baldur's Gate is the original Baldur's Gate was made by the same company. Interplay made both of these.
Okay.
Interplay made the original Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2, and also Fallout and Fallout 2. So that's why those games look and feel really similar, in that you have this like big screen, it's isometric, and then you have a bunch of weird stuff on the side, and you move stuff in a thing. The voice acting is like sparse, like some characters have voice lines, some characters don't. If you're familiar with Celeste's writing of Baldur's Gate, it is much more exciting and interesting than what is in the original game. My writing will not be nearly as good, but I'm going to try and get us there. And then Fallout, and that was 1997, 1998, and then there was 2 spin-offs in 2001 and 2004 that were very similar. And then in 2008, when we were older folks, not adults but older kids, teenagers, that's when Fallout 3 came out, and then Fallout New Vegas in 2010, and Fallout 4 in 2015. We are approaching 10 years since a RPG, not online Fallout game. And then Fallout 76 was 2018. And Fallout Shelter 2019. So there you go.
Wow. That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild. I mean, I think that I heard someone tell me, and I have no idea if this is actually true or not. Someone had heard that they're filming season 2 of Fallout this coming April.
Yeah.
So I imagine it'd be like a later 2025, early 2026 show. After all the editing and stuff, I would have to imagine the next Fallout would come. Yeah, I mean, they fumbled it so hard. They fumbled it so hard. The update did not go the way. No, I imagine they hoped it
didn't hold people. It didn't keep people. The Fallout 76 stuff is cool, and I was like excited to try it out, but I just never did. And now I'm no longer excited because the moment has passed. So yeah, they have to do something. I think the worry is that if they put out a Fallout game before they put out an Elder Scrolls game, people are going to be very upset. But I don't know if I have those same feelings.
I don't. No offense to the elder people, but I just. I don't. I want Fallout.
Same. But yeah,
you got Elden Ring, people. You can last a little longer. I think you're fine.
Yeah, give
me Fallout first.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a little history on the release timeline. There's also been a bunch of different developers who've worked on this. Bethesda bought it from Interplay when Interplay went bankrupt in the late 90s, early 2000s. Then they made a game.
That's wild.
So yeah, Bethesda originally just bought like the rights to make a game of it. Like they were just gonna like develop and it was gonna be published by Interplay or something like that. And then Interplay got so bankrupt that Bethesda eventually bought the entire like the rights to the whole franchise. So yeah, wild stuff. 2004. That's when they purchased the license. They purchased the license in 2004. They bought the full rights in 2007.
That's great. In 2007.
Yeah. So until yeah.
What? How did they must have been developing Fallout 3 before then, no?
They were. When they were,
right?
Because they had the rights since 2004, so they had like 4 years of working on Fallout 3, but they just like that they only had the rights to make Fallout 3, and then in 2007 they purchased the entirety of. They must have known they were going to have something that was going to be big, and they wanted to make more of them, and it was probably going on sale for cheap, so they purchased the IP, and now Fallout is synonymous with Bethesda, which is, it's one of their tentpole games. So, wow.
I wonder how Tim Kaine feels about that. I'm sure he's talked about it. I just have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's talked a lot about the show, that he really liked the show and the route that took. And yeah, he's talked that he thinks they've done a pretty good job of, passing on the torch of the narrative and capturing that voice. I'm sure, somebody who's watched more interviews, I've only watched a couple of his interviews to understand a little bit more what is going on and what his thoughts are. But he generally seems to be like pretty open to like, I made this thing and I'm proud of it and other people are going to make it better so they can make it better.
Yeah.
Which is like a great mindset to have. At least that's my understanding. I could be wrong and he could be very angry. But that's not anything I found when I was doing research.
That's cool. Wow, such a weird history.
Yeah, games and who owns them and how that all works is so weird and fascinating. Eric, that's all the nonsense I have. If we wanted to jump into the story, we can.
Yeah, I am all ready.
Okay, let's do it.
War. War never changes. The Romans waged war to gather slaves and wealth. Spain built an empire from its lust for gold and territory. Hitler shaped a battered Germany into an economic superpower. But war never changes. In the 21st century, war was still waged over the resources that could be acquired. Only this time, the spoils of war were always its weapons: petroleum and uranium. For these resources, China would invade Alaska, the US would annex Canada, and the European Commonwealth would dissolve into quarreling, bickering nation-states, bent on controlling the last remaining resources on Earth. In 2077, the storm of World War had come again. In 2 brief hours, most of the planet was reduced to cinders. And from the ashes of nuclear devastation, a new civilization would struggle to arise. A few were able to reach the relative safety of the large underground vaults. Your family was part of that group that entered Vault 13. Imprisoned safely behind the large vault door under a mountain of stone. A generation has lived without the knowledge of the outside world. Life in the vault is about to change.
The vault dweller stumbles awake in their small room. They fell asleep in their Vault 13 jumpsuit again. This time, instead of a late night of catch the commie or blast radius, they spent the night trying to come to grips with what will happen tomorrow. They drew the short straw, and the day is here. The day the vault dweller will need to leave the safety they've known for the past 20 years and head out into the unknown, into whatever is left outside the vault. The overseer told them to report first thing in the morning. They put on a fresh Vault 13 jumpsuit and headed towards his office. They arrived in the overseer's large office. He sits behind a large circular desk, typing away at his computer. His bushy white beard and eyebrows and warm smile soften the message he's about to deliver.
Ah, you're here. Good. We've got a problem. A big one. The controller chip for our water purification system has given up the ghost. Can't make a new one, and the process is too complicated for a workaround system. Simply put, we're running out of drinking water. No water, no vault. This is crucial to our survival. And frankly, I think you're the only hope we have. You need to go find us another controller chip. We estimate we have 4 to 5 months before the vault runs out of water. We need that chip. I've marked your map with the location of another vault. Not a bad place to start, I think. Look, just be safe, okay?
Alarms blare overhead. Red flashing lights illuminate the large middle vault door. A metallic creak as the first layer of large metal doors open with distress. As they move into the hallway that leads to the next door, the vault dweller quickly takes stock of what they have. A pistol, a knife, some food, some water, a bright blue Vault 13 jumpsuit, and a Pip-Boy 2000. 150 days is all the vault has. It is clearly displayed on the Pip-Boy. It's a helpful tracker and reminder of why they are outside the safety of the vault. Somewhere out there, a water chip to save the people of their vault. Another large, cog-shaped vault door shifts to the side. The vault dweller is not greeted by a warm, bright sun or a cool breeze of air, but instead the dark, dim, dank darkness of the cave. They take their first step, and before their eyes can adjust to the darkness, a loud groan of the middle vault door reseals behind them. A decaying body lies on the ground right outside the vault. All that is left is bone and a familiar blue jumpsuit. Another vault dweller who did not make it back to the safety of the vault. Not someone they recognize. They quickly search their body for any type of clue as to what happened to this fellow vault member. The only thing that we found is bullets. The vault dweller adds them to their collection and starts to look out for some signs of how to leave this place. Before their eyes can adjust, a shuffling and a screech can be heard in the darkness. The vault dweller draws a knife and a pistol. The combat training mandated by all citizens of Vault 13 seemed strange at the time, but now they're thankful for it. Multiple sets of red, glowing eyes stare back in the darkness, making their way towards the Vault Dweller. They fire a few warning shots into the dark, and they scatter in fear. As their eyes adjust, they're able to make out these shapes. Giant rats the size of dogs, rabid and vicious. They stare from the darkness, waiting for a moment to strike. With ammo as a precious resource, the Vault Dweller tries to move past them. As they search the cave for a way out, they spot a small gleam of light on the far side, beyond the crowd of hungry rodents. They line up a shot on one of the creatures and fires, and then make a dash for the light. The cold, dark cave quickly gives way to a blinding light. The blasted desert and a bright sun blind the Vault Dweller, who continues to run out for safety from the mob of creatures hungrily skittering in the cave behind them. The oppressive heat of the west coast sun and dry, arid air is starkly different from the climate-controlled vault. The Overseer suggests they go to Vault 15. They consult their Pip-Boy 2000 and see that it's east. With no other options or clues, they head eastward, weapon in hand and ready for whatever the wasteland may throw their way. They spend the first of their 150 days walking through a barren wasteland of sand. No sign of life other than the silhouette of large creatures in the distance. Another day passes, and another, and another. After 5 full days of little sleep and exhausted walking, the Vault Dweller spots something in the distance, a wall made of sandstone surrounding a series of small and broken down buildings. Some shelter, and a chance to rest without sleeping on the sand. They make their way towards the settlement only to find it's not abandoned, but full of people, a true town in this wasteland. As they approach, they're greeted by a guard.
Welcome to Shady Sand, stranger. Please holster that weapon while you are here. I am Seth, the leader of the guards here. Shady Sands is a peaceful community. We have our own irrigation system, so we can grow our own food. If we were not plagued by raiders and rad scorpions, we would have no problems.
The Vault Dweller, curious about this sign of society outside the vault, asks for more details on the thing plaguing the people of this town. Seth tells them about the group of raiders to the south and the rad scorpions. Giant scorpions infused with the radiations of the bomb that fall, that hunt their livestock and now their people. Seth tells them any help would be greatly appreciated and would likely allow them to have a better reputation in the town and with the town's leader, Aradesh, who is originally from Vault 15 and may be able to help. The Vault Dweller asks for more information about the rad scorpions.
Those damn rad scorpions have been after our Brahmins since we moved here. Not a week goes by that someone doesn't get poisoned trying to keep them out of the pens. Last week they took my brother Jarvis. Raslo, our doctor, is looking for an antidote as quickly as he can. Hey, if you have the means to help us, why don't you talk to our leader, Aradesh? He should be in our town hall, the building to the south.
Vault Dweller wanders around Shady Sands, a town that is self-sufficient and full of welcoming people who are suspicious of newcomers, but not openly hostile. People tend to large, two-headed cow-like creatures. After wandering around, the Vault Dweller makes his way to the town hall to meet the town's leader, Aradesh.
Greetings, Wanderer. Please don't be offended if the gentlefolk about seem rude. As Dharma said, tough times tan the human hide. Your business in Shady Sands, what might it be?
The Vault Dweller explains they're from a vault to the west, where people are dying of thirst and need a water chip to survive.
Wanderer, I shall believe you. For now, you may enter Shady Sands, but be warned, your every move will be watched.
The Vault Dweller asks about rad scorpions threatening the town.
Oh my, yes. Great packs of rad scorpions are killing our herd. We don't know where they're from. And no matter how many we kill, there's always more. And now the monsters are attacking my people. Raslo is trying to find a cure for the poison. But I'm not sure how it goes.
Leaving the leader, the Vault Dweller makes his way across town to find Raslo. Raslo explains Seth has been hunting them and knows where they live. If they were to work with Seth to track them down, they could gather samples of the venom and wipe them out in one trip. The Vault Dweller returns to Seth to make a plan. They approach Seth and let them know they want to help. Seth warns he cannot go with the Vault Hunter, as there are already too few able-bodied fighters. But he can show them the way. The Vault Dweller agrees and heads towards the cave of rad scorpions to help the town of Shady Sands. Eric, that's it for part 1. Yeah.
Woo! It's funny that like
Yeah.
how from the show, like minor spoilers from episode like 2, I think, of the Fallout show, like Lucy gets criticized for
Yeah.
being just out in the open camping by the
Same place.
scientist guy, I forget what his name is, whereas the OG Vault Hunter here is walking 5 days through the sand
in the exact same
on
place.
the west
like
coast.
They're in the same,
much like Lucy,
within the same 10 miles of each other.
So I'm very it's just funny how like one person.
I mean, if
one
Shady
person,
Sands,
both people are
Shady
doing the same
Sands in
thing.
the
And one
show.
gets
I don't know
criticized.
I don't know the distance from.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. They visit Shady Sands in the show. That's the town that
true?
gets bombed by Lucy's thing. So it can't be too far if that's where Lucy's family like ran off to.
Oh, sorry.
You know
I cut you off. I cut you off.
Vault 15 and Vault what's Lucy's vault? 32, 31?
Yes.
33. Yeah, Vault
Yes.
33 and Vault 13 can't be that far from each other if they're both 5 days is a lot of walking.
33.
So
I'd say I had to look that up. Yeah.
Lucy's vault, but yeah. And yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that would be very cool. Yeah, it's really interesting to see now how the games and the show kind of overlap. And like seeing Shady Sands in the show was really
very
cool. And also a huge bummer, but really cool. But really cool callback to, the original people. And the first town you visit in the first Fallout game is Shady Sands, and that is the one town.
Yeah, honestly, a huge bummer.
But it's really interesting how like I said at the beginning, they're really like the narrative is just a justification to play more of the game, not the other way around. You're searching for a MacGuffin and you got to go find it, and you're looking for information, and to get the information you got to help people, and that's kind of the whole deal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's a good idea to focus on the idea like we need water, which is arguably the most important resource for all these people. So like, what better reason? It's very curious. I feel like the overseer here is really manipulating the vault dweller, just from them saying, "I think you're the only hope we have." Makes me like, unless everybody's just extremely elderly or babies or like children, I question why the vault or why the overseer felt he had to say that. You know what I mean? I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a sacrificial lamb kind of situation. Like, hey, we're desperate.
Definitely.
We're going to send the one person that we are okayest with dying out and tell them that it's,
knowing we know about the vaults, they're generally pretty sketchy. So I think that's a good guess.
Feels a little sketchy. A little sketchy. Yeah. I'm very curious if this will come back around in some way, shape, or form. Yeah. Now, was that the case that, I mean, I guess, well, you know what? You probably shouldn't answer this just because story beats for this whole thing. I'm very, I guess what I want to say out loud is that I'm very curious if that whole, thing with the vaults and the manipulation that was happening from Vault Tech is present in these first two games. Or if that was something that came when Bethesda acquired it and kind of changed the narrative a little bit.
Yeah, it's pretty miserable.
Okay, all right. That'll be interesting to see. Yeah, I would hate to live in this world. Anyone that thinks it'd be cool to live in Fallout is bonkers crazy to me. That would suck. That would absolutely suck. But no, very interesting. I'm very curious. I'm definitely going to be, whether I mean to or not, we'll be comparing this story to ones I already know of, Fallout 3 and New Vegas and 4. And just in terms of like, and obviously this is so different than those games, right? This came out at such a different time. Whereas like story narratives were really taking off, I feel like in the 90s for video games with like, so many.
Yeah, I'll be interested
Zelda
to see
and
what your
Halo
thoughts
and,
are of
Final Fantasy and whatnot.
And as they interact with
that. I'm very
spaces.
curious how deep this story will actually go.
What that will feel like, and if it will feel like Fallout, or if it wasn't until later that it really felt like Fallout. I mean, one of the things we're missing is like the music, and they play the music in the beginning of the game, so it's there, but it's not as like omnipresent as it is in like Fallout 3. I don't know if you have a radio in Fallout 2. But I mean, like looking for the water chip. That's the reason you leave the vault in this game. It's the reason you leave the vault in Fallout 3. Your dad has to leave because the water chip is broken, so he goes to like fix it. You know what I mean? They mention there's a broken water chip in the show, so that's like a very common theme throughout. It's like a callback of something's broken. It's got to be the water chip.
True.
Yeah. So there's some maybe some suspicious nonsense going on there. Vault Tech, those jerks.
I didn't realize it was so prevalent. Yeah.
Okay.
Vault Tech.
Yep.
Those damn Vault Techies.
Mm-hmm.
I picture. Here's my guess. I actually don't know how this ends. My guess is this: somehow, some way, the Vault Dweller gets the water chip, and then the Vault Dweller goes back to the vault.
Interesting.
And then you talk to the overseer, and the overseer goes, "Great job! You got the water chip. Now we're saved." And just title credits. But there's nothing that happens after. There's no like understanding of how your actions influence anything. I bet it's just that. Like the overseer won, truly. He manipulated you to do all the hard work to find this water chip so they can live longer, and that's just it.
Yeah.
Great job. But he'll go like this. This is how it really ends. He goes, "Great job, bud."
Yeah.
It's just over. Because we all know that being called bud is the worst thing ever. I hate it. Don't call me bud. It's like an insult, especially from people who are younger than you and they call you bud. It's like, do you want to fight? Like, what is the problem here? What did I do to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels bad. What were we talking about? Ryan, would you, being truthful here, like truly, could you, if you were in a situation like this and an overseer came to you and said, you're the only person we have,
I don't know if I would feel like I had a choice.
Give this water chip in the same situation.
In the language that he is using of like,
leaving this vault,
everyone relies on you, we're all going to die if you don't do this. It is very hard to say, I actually don't think I want to. Like that feels like a hard yeah. Yeah.
I think you should advocate for yourself. I think that's fine. You can set a boundary. I don't want to do that. I'd rather die of dehydration. Uh-huh. Yeah. I think if someone asked me, if an overseer came to me and said,
I got 150 days, give me 10 to see if I can fix it.
I would ask so many questions. I would ask, why me? Let me look at this water chip. Maybe I can, it's already broken. Might as well let me try to fix it. You never know. Yep. I got some tape. Let's figure this out. Jukebox, hit it, turn it on. And then if that didn't work, I'd be like, overseer, you're right. I think you should appoint a temporary overseer, and you and me are going to go get that water chip.
As a team.
Don't be telling me you need me. What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're going to just sit here and do nothing. You need to come with me. Yeah. We are now the only hope.
No.
You and me,
way
buddy.
No. They just wait.
Get some water, we're going.
Days. Guess he didn't make it back. Bummer.
I'm not going by myself. And then if the Vault Dweller dies, the Vault's not going to know. The Vault Dweller's
right outside.
No
immediately got eaten by rats. Yeah.
I hope the Vault Dweller's doing okay. He's just dead in the sand. He's right outside the door next to the dead body.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so funny too that the overseer's like, here's this map where this location of this vault is. Good luck. It's like,
you have 150 days.
When
it
where'd you find this?
And then every time you travel, it takes down days. Every time you rest, it takes down days. Very similar to Pikmin, right? When you get to day 100, you get like a warning, like, hey, only 100 days left. When you get to 50, you get a warning, hey, only 50 days left. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Whoa! What a parallel.
Just checking in. Yeah. Just come out here. It's great.
Hey, bud. Any update on the water chip? You're just hanging out in shady sands, talking to people like, no, man.
It's going to be the capital of a new nation.
Yeah, I know. Shady sands like a sweet. There's no way this place will get bombed. Come on out here. Come hang out. We're doing great. There's an irrigation system.
Yeah.
Here, talk to Seth. Oh,
yeah,
hello?
I sure will.
How's it going, bud? It'll be interesting to see what happens. I really hope for more callback stuff in the show with these games and how cool. Low key though, and this is not Fallout 1. This is Fallout 3. What if I forget how Fallout 3 ends now as I talk about. I'll be comparing these stories, and then I'm over here also forgetting how Fallout 3 actually goes.
I think so. Yeah.
Spoiler alert in case I'm getting this wrong. I think actually I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure Liam Neeson's character, the dad, in
my
Fallout 3
boy.
dies, right? No matter what. I think so. I was say, how cool would it be if he was walking around in Fallout season 2?
In this game,
like, hey,
this game you can pick between
my kids evolved well. They saved the Commonwealth. My
boy,
my baby boy.
Like you're called a boy. Everyone called similar in like, New Vegas. You're called the Sole Survivor. No, is that it?
Yeah,
the Courier. Yeah, Soul Survivor is a different game. I don't know which one is Soul Survivor.
Yeah,
is that 4? You're the Soul Survivor. Everyone dies. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Courier.
Yeah.
That's
yeah. So there's our first little dip.
Yeah,
because
everyone
Fallout.
Yeah, which makes
Fallout 1. Yeah. So
except for the kid actually
come back to it and get into all the shenanigans and the wild and weird places we go. So
yeah, very cool, good job.
Yeah, end of September. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We should have the next part to Fallout in September, towards the end of September. Next month will be Pikmin Part 2. And yeah, hopefully everyone's enjoying this new way that we're putting out videos. Putting out stories.
Definitely.
Hopefully it's still cool and fun. And if anyone has any suggestions or any thoughts on it, please let us know, because we want to kind of keep adapting and making things cool. But this is working well for us, so probably keep it going. But still, a lot less stressful. Definitely a lot less stressful. But of course, Storygoers, as always, you can send us your thoughts, feelings, and perspectives to talesfromthecartridge@gmail.com. All of the E's are 3's. Our social media, leaving a voice or text at 207-494-4334, or answering our Spotify poll question. If you're listening to us on Spotify, scroll down. You should see it there. Would you go and try to find a new water chip for your vault? Do you feel you'd like to live in the world of Fallout? And do you also hate being called Bud? Let us know. The people want to know. I want to know. Bud. If that made you mad, then write it and let me know. And do you want Tom Holland to be Link? Because you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Not to tell you how to feel. That's bad. It's a bad thing for me to say that, but still. Nothing wrong with Tom Holland. I just want to say, he's fine. I don't even know this person. I'm not gonna bash Tom Holland, right?
My precious boy.
I just, you know what I mean. Link is Link. Link. I mean, Link. Does he ever talk and have really any personality? No, but he's my boy. He's my little bud. Yeah. My precious boy. I'm the Liam Neeson to Link. Okay, he's my baby boy. I just want to take care of him. Wow, what an episode. Okay, well, I'm gonna just keep riding this train. Ryan, I hope you have a fantastic day. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And Storygoers, we hope that you're doing well. Everything's going well, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye, Bud.